TRYLOSOPHY podcast, Boxing on the Go. I'm your host, Noel Muro. Let's talk about some of the fights last weekend, last Saturday. Yeah. Oh, actually, let's start off with Friday. DAZN had a card headlined by Demetrius Andrade and Artur Akavov. So, Akavov, he did. I've never heard of that guy, but he did pretty well. He held his own against a Demetrius Andrade. They were both, they're both southpaws. He was able to put them paws on Andrade here and there, but Andrade, his boxing skills were proved to be too much, and he ended up getting TKO'd. The ref ended up stopping the fight, which it was not justified. The man was still on his feet. He was still boxing. He was still coherent. I mean, he was still throwing punches. I mean, the guy was not hurt, and rightfully so. Akavov was really disappointed. He was pissed off after the fight. Yelling out, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't touch me!" Things like that. So, Andrade wins in what a lot of people say was a very boring fight. Andrade he's not really, he doesn't have a fan-friendly style. Real shoulder rollish, real counter-minded. He's a counter-minded boxer. Nonetheless, defending his WBO middleweight title. All right. On Saturday, we had the return of Manny Pacquiao to the States. First time fighting here in a little over 2 years, something like that. The Senator, he started off kind of slow. You could tell the age is getting there. He's getting slower, this and that. But as the fight kept going, you see Manny Pacquiao, starting to find his rhythm. Body, a lot of body shots to Adrian Broner. Nice little combination, little flurries here and there. He had gotten him in Adrian Broner looked like he was in trouble on maybe 2 or 3 times. He was in the corner, just not letting Pacquiao, but he put himself in a bad position where Pacquiao was able to effectively let off his combinations and flurries of punches. So, I mean, they didn't look like they had a lot of power behind them either. There was one particular shot. It was a body punch to the abdomen, and kind of got Adrian Broner, pushed him back. He kind of went down, head down, went back. So I mean, that was probably Pacquiao's best punch of the fight. Adrian Broner was his usual style, counter, shoulder roll, real Mayweather-like, but from what they were saying, it looks like he was throwing maybe 8 punches per round, or not even 8. You're not going to win fights that way. You're not going to win fights that way. I don't care if... See, I gave Broner 2 rounds. It was like maybe the 4th, maybe the 10th, 4th and 10th, something like that. Just because, he let off, some... Adrian Broner had some nice counter punches, okay? He did land some clean shots against Pacquiao. It's not enough. He needs to get busier. The guy's 29 years old. I don't know how the hell he thought he won that fight. Maybe because of just being able to land very clean counter shots against Manny Pacquiao, but it's not enough. He has to be busier, and I don't know if Kevin Cunningham is telling him to ignore what the critics and what everyone is saying, just keep doing what you're doing, it's not working. Okay? He's already lost, 2 of his last 3 fights, or it's probably like 3 out of his last 4, because he had a draw against Jesse Vargas, which I actually want to check out again. I'm not even sure if I watched that fight, tell you the truth. Anyways, so I have to question: does Adrian Broner, does he want to, switch his style up a little bit? Does he want to become more aggressive? He says he'll be back. Like I said earlier, he's 29 years old. He has a lot of time left. I mean, realistically, this should be the prime of his career. 29 years old, 28, 30. It's just, I mean, does he need a new trainer that's more aggressive minded, more offense minded? I don't know, but if he's going to continue just to keep fighting this way, this was, he's still going to get those ratings. Showtime is still going to put him on cards. I just don't think he's going to headline until he starts racking up win after win after win, and if they give him another title shot or something. But I mean the guy, he has, Adrian Broner has power, he has a chin, he's fast. I mean, it's like when you get these guys that are really real brawlers, and they end up going into these wars. They endure too much damage to where, their boxing career, the lifespan of their career can really be shortened by things like that. Oscar Valdez, he went to Eddie Reynoso, switched up trainers, I would think, to learn more defense, and I believe that's what he said as well. Get his improve his defense, like he should, because like I said, and being in war after war, I mean, it's just, you're gonna take a lot of damage, and that's gonna, you're gonna get concussion. You're gonna, it's just, when you get older, it's gonna really take its toll. So to be able to, if more brawlers or offensive-minded fighters, if they can, go to a trainer or switch up their style to be more defensive, I mean, a defensive fighter should be able to do the same thing. But I mean, is it too late to teach an Adrian Broner to be more offensive? Maybe it's just not in his mind. He doesn't want to engage, and that will be his downfall if he doesn't start thinking that way. So Manny Pacquiao ends up beating Adrian Broner in a unanimous decision to retain his WBA regular title. They're calling out Floyd Mayweather right there, putting him on the spot. Floyd, he's told them already, stop asking me that. I'm sure it does get tiring, but I don't know. Floyd will be Floyd, and Floyd is gonna Floyd. And he's, always going to say he's enjoying his life, he's enjoying retirement. But that's some money to be left on the table, especially when boxing is peaking right now, and it's really gained popularity again. It's really peaking amongst pop culture. It's getting a lot of viewership now than it did, let's say, 4 or 5 years ago. So, maybe even 3 years ago. So, if the interest is there, people will buy the fight again to see a rematch. I really don't care. I actually prefer that not happen. I think Floyd should just stay retired. I personally think, Mayweather should fight like a Terrence Crawford. That would really, Floyd is already a Hall of Famer, okay? He will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But he doesn't need to legitimize or, secure his legacy. It's already done. It's there. He's had an extraordinary career as, one of the best defensive fighters, one of the best, boxers in history. But as, some will disagree. I don't think he's one of the best boxers as far as, fight-wise. Yeah, he does have very significant wins, but I would say he's one of the best defensive. I think he's the best defensive boxer the sport has ever seen. Best that way. So he doesn't need, like I said, he doesn't need to legitimize his career, and I mean, it's just, because then if he loses, they're gonna be, it's a 40-plus-year-old Mayweather lost to a young hungry lion. It'd be interesting. I'd like to see that as the last fight. Go and fight a top welterweight and see how that goes. Mayweather probably still wins against any of these top guys because can nobody really touch him. We've seen it time after time, but we all know that's not going to happen. So if that's not going to happen, I'd prefer that guy just keep doing little exhibitions and sideshows and just retire and let the new guys take the reins and stop teasing everyone that you're going to come back and whatever. I mean, if Mayweather Pacquiao 2 happens, I'm going to watch it. And most people that hate on that shit is going to watch it as well. But, people are going to troll the shit out of it and complain and bitch and moan. And so, whatever. So, going backwards on the card, in the co-main event, we had Badou Jack. Badou Jack fighting Marcus Browne for the WBC silver light heavyweight and interim WBA light heavyweight titles. Marcus Browne was talking mad shit at the press conferences. They got into, I don't even know if I'd call it a little shuffle, but a little scuffle, but something along those lines. Marcus Browne, proved he's the real deal. Won by unanimous decision. Badou Jack suffered through an accidental headbutt, suffered a gigantic gash on his forehead. That shit was nasty, son. I don't know, maybe. I think some of these videos and pictures you could actually, I don't know if you could see his skull, but that shit was deep and wide, and that shit was bloody. Tony Weeks' shirt was all bloody. That was. Truth be told, maybe they should have stopped the fight, but no, that didn't stop. They didn't stop it, and Marcus Browne wins and calls out Teddy Atlas and Alexander Volzdik for his next fight to give him a shot at the title, which Alexander Volzdik had won against Adonis Stevenson. Reading earlier, I saw Volzdik he will not be fighting Marcus Browne next. He's already chosen he has a voluntary defense that he'll be doing first before he has to fight a mandatory and Marcus Browne. I don't know who he's fighting, but I think it's in March, something like that. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. Canelo Alvarez and Golden Boy have decided on Canelo's next opponent on Cinco de Mayo weekend. I believe that lands on the 4th of May. They have, it looks like they were trying to make a fight with Triple G to make the trilogy fight, part 3. Looks like either, those negotiations have fallen through, and Canelo's next opponent is Danny Jacobs. And that is a terrific fight. Terrific. He has another title. Canelo has 2 titles. Let's get it on. Unification bout for, those guys, you could arguably say that's the number 1 and 2 middleweights of the world. Or they're it's top 4 or top 5, okay? You're going to have like triple, let's see, you have, and this is not in order, all right, guys? Is Triple G, Billy Joe Saunders, Demetrius Andrade, Danny Jacobs, Canelo Alvarez. Anybody outside of that, seeing how Jamal Charlo, how he won against Korobov, but that fight kind of could have gone either way. He had some trouble with that guy, and he was a last minute opponent due to Willie Monroe Jr. Being pulled from his fight. But that's an awesome fight, and that's a fight that DAZN needed, because I would think we all know, but let's just say we know that the fight, there's a lot of idiots out there that think that, Canelo and Rocky Fielding, yes, we know that was like a whatever opponent. We know that. But like I've stated before, Canelo wanted to get another fight in before the year was over. Otherwise, he would have only fought one time in May. So making that DAZN deal, getting that money, starting it off, getting people excited for Canelo fights on DAZN for $10 a month or whatever, that gained some eyeballs. That got some news right there. Okay, so now, Canelo hasn't ducked anybody. So, and he only fights like the best opponents. So there you go, Danny Jacobs, Cinco de Mayo weekend, unification bout. That's an awesome fight. I don't know who wins. I'm leaning a little more Canelo. He's in the straight prime of his career. He's very versatile, but so is Danny Jacobs. Jacobs could bring it to you, or he could box his ass off. He's a very strong fighter. He has power. He gets busy. He lets those hands go. But I don't know. That's just about as 50-50 of a fight as you can get. And all respect to Canelo for taking that fight, and props to Eddie Hearn, Oscar de la Hoya, Eric Gomez, Matchroom Boxing USA, DAZN, Golden Boy Promotions, all parties involved in making this fight happen. I said this the other day on Twitter. I'm wondering. I'm looking at Andrade's size. I don't think who can he fight that the name I'm gonna say is from the other side of the street or whatever. But what about Demetrius Andrade versus Jarrett Hurd? Jarrett Hurd has power. He comes towards you. I think that's a good stylistic matchup because Andrade boxes, and he's a boxer. Jarrett Hurd can box, but he actually comes to you. I think that's a great matchup. Once Jarrett Hurd moves up in weight, which is inevitable, just like Jaime Munguía, he's going to move up in weight. It's inevitable. Yeah, I think that's a fight to be made. Somehow, some way, get it done, guys. I know it's not going to happen next. Jarrett Hurd wants the big fights. He's going to probably end up fighting a Triple G, and just I don't know how that turns out. But Andrade might just box him for 12 rounds and get the decision, or Triple G could fucking lay him out. I don't know. This weekend, we have Keith Thurman versus Josecito Lopez. I'm just going to throw that shit out there. Keith Thurman hasn't fought in 2 years. Fuck it. I got a bold prediction. I'm rocking with Josecito Lopez to get the underdog win and to get the win. Yeah. I know that's a very unpopular pick, but hey, this shit happens. All right. Also, we have Jaime Munguía versus Takashi Inoue, the Monster's brother. And Munguía will be defending his WBO junior middleweight title. And, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Okay, that will be on the zone. Keith Thurman versus Josecito Lopez will be another free card on Fox, PBC on Fox. The Charlo Korobov fight, or that whole card, right, on a PBC on Fox, that peaked at 2,421,000 views, okay, and average about 1,971,000 viewers. So it'd be interesting to see where it'd be interesting to see what the average and what the peak is. Is it going to grow? Is it going to shrink? What's going to happen? I don't know. Well, that is the show for today. I'll try to be coming back every week. Just been getting a little busy, but you can follow me on Twitter at Moruso, MORUSO71. Follow TRYLOSOPHY at TRYLOSOPHY on Instagram. Subscribe to the emails, on TRYLOSOPHY.com. You could find it, #TRYLOSOPHY. Please subscribe, leave a rating on iTunes for the TRYLOSOPHY podcast. Let me know how I'm doing. I'm your host, Noel Muro. All right. Y'all have a good day or night or whatever. TRYLOSOPHY.com. Thank you very much.